I need you to knock some sense into me. I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I don't know.
I enjoy listening to you. I don't always agree with everything.
All right, enough of this persiflage.
So, you want my question?
I'm certainly not going to get myself in trouble by telling you what to do.
That makes great sense. Gosh, that's good.
Did I overwhelm you with words and wisdom?
I've got 7 kids. I feel like I could call you every day.
Wait, you're telling me I'm wrong? Disconnect.
Yes, I am, Dr. Ray.
You just need to tune in to Dr. Ray, honey. He's got all the answers.
Am I right or am I right?
Probably.
Now, from the studios of Living Bread Radio Network in Canton, Ohio, the hometown of Mother Angelica, here's Dr. Ray.
She didn't mean it literally for me to knock some sense into her. I was thinking about that. No wonder I got a bad reputation here on Catholic radio. Totally psychologically knocking some sense into her. Maybe even nudging some sense into her. What's the word I'm looking for? Pervasive? No, that's not the word. What happens when you do something in the heart and you have to push the blood through, whatever that is, into her cerebral cortex? Enough of that. Enough of this badinage. Good to have you with me here on The Doctor Is In. Privileged to be with you. The number to get onto the program is 877. I'm going to say it slow. 573 7825. 877-57 equal. That's the number. The program is caller driven. I can't tell you how many e-persons I get. Yes, that's right. I'm diligently avoiding mail. Toxic e-persons from various folks that publicity agents, query letters, this kind of stuff, asking for me to invite a guest. You're my guests. You're the folks, and I write back gently saying it's a call-in show. Unsubscribe from them because they just pound you with it. You're my guests. And you call in. I talk a little bit. It's kind of an interview. I ask you a few questions. I want to get a few details of what's gone on here. Whether it's a life situation or a kid situation or an elderly parent situation or a question you might have about a diagnosis you don't understand. Not medical, psychiatric or psychological. It could be something that you want to comment on. And people do that a lot, and I get a lot of good stuff. A lot of really smart people listening to this program. Well, they weren't smart when they started, but if they listened long enough, I think I did push their IQ up a little bit. Average IQ per year, anybody that listens at least 20 times per year, average IQ is up 7.62 points. 877-57 equal if you'd like to be part of the program, and I would very much like you to be part of the program. I'm doing my Christmas cards, and it's gotten me to thinking. There's a lot of dynamics in, that's it, perfusion. You're right, Paul. I could not think of that word, and I do know this word. The word is lethologica. Lethologica means you can't recall a word or a name that you're searching for. And I've been noticing as I talk to people who are getting older, they're all saying that. I don't remember that guy's name, and I knew him for 12 years. Oh, what's the word? What's the word? Yes, cardiac perfusion. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. I just want to know how you knew that, whether you're a cardiac patient or, in fact, whether you are some type of medical doctor that knows this. I appreciate it anyway. It says you're from Cocoa, Florida. All I remember is Cocoa Puffs. I used to eat those. Okay, so back to my observations about Christmas carding. I'll send out maybe 50, 60. Mostly to folks that I don't see regularly. Some that I do see regularly, but that's a small handful. For the most part, these are people who have been part of my life, growing up, or various work environments, places like that, or distance. People I don't see because of distance, they've moved away. Folks like that. Some of them I haven't seen for 30 years. But I'll send them a card, and in the card, a couple of things, and I recommend this to all of you sending out Christmas cards. Put a little personal note, just something. what they meant to you or how you had great memories of the times you were together at work, whatever it was, something to make them feel like they mattered in your life. Okay, and that's one thing. Now, another thing. Now, this year I'm going to be sending out something similar that I did for many, 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 many years when the kids were all at home. You know these letters you get, these brag letters? You know, my son has just finished his 7th competitive powerlifting and also as a grandmaster chess player. Oh, we're so proud of little Elvis. He's the one who will be playing with the rock group. And my husband is now the vice president of sales for the General Milky Way. You hear these bag letters. They just drip with self-absorption, and they kind of want to impress you. Now, some of them just tell you what's going on in their lives. You know, we had a little baby welcomed into our family. That's cool. That's cool stuff. But then you get this. And so I wrote out similar letters for many years, probably 10 years, 12 years. And my letters were satires of those letters. I'd say things like this. My son James is in the 6th grade. Last year, he made straight A's. His B's were a little crooked, but by 7th grade, he should have them mastered. I'd say stuff like that, and the whole letter was like that. I'd say things like, my wife is homeschooling the kids, and Andrew is just finishing up his senior year. He's president of senior class. He's also leader of the drum corps. He sings in the choir, and he is also head cheerleader. Of course, he's the only one in his senior class like that. Well, I'm sending out another one of those this year about me and Randy. I can't tease about the kids. They're all grown up. But I'm going to send one about me and Randy. Now, all that said, I look at some of the Christmas cards that come in, and they're very nice. These are people thinking of me. I think that's neat. And I look to see if there's going to be a little message in there from them. And most of the time, most people just sign their names. All right, I'm not complaining about that. But I would suggest, if you're going to do that, as I said, put a little note in there to make people think that you're thinking of them. Now, what if you don't send out Christmas cards? And now, if you don't send out Christmas cards, I can pretty much predict that the amount of Christmas cards you're going to get is going to decline. My guess is it takes about 3 years for you not sending out a Christmas card to somebody before you don't get a Christmas card from them. Which raises the question, are these token greetings? In other words, if you're not going to send me a card, I'm not going to send you one. I mean, I don't want these Christmas cards. I'm sending out 27 Christmas cards. And if you're not going to send me one, I'm not going to send one to you. Apparently, you don't care enough. I don't know what the motive is, but I noticed this. There for a few years, I didn't send out Christmas cards for any number of reasons, and I noticed there were people who had regularly sent me Christmas cards who stopped. I thought, so what was that Christmas card all about? Now, that said, how do you decide who to send your cards to? Is it someone you always have? Is it someone far away that your contacts are few and far between and you just want to let them know that you're thinking about them at Christmas time? Is it you've just always done it? You know, it's kind of like a tradition. It's sort of a signature of your holiday season. I started my Christmas card letter with Merry Christmas, and then I said, for those of you reading this in your safe space, Jolly Winter Solstice, season's greetings, or Happy Holidays. And I said, holidays, dangerously close to holy days. That said, I've been studying the whole Christmas card thing. I think the main reason for most of us is distance and people who were some part of our history. I know that's what it is for me. And I sometimes send them out to people who would otherwise not get much of a greeting from too many people because they're kind of socially isolated. And that makes it even more important that you write them a little letter. Handwritten. I also been noticing that people have been sending out a lot more pictures. You get these Christmas cards that are like portfolios. with everybody in various scenes of the family, or the whole big 27 people in the Christmas card. That's the family recently, and that's nice because you want to see how they're doing. That's great. But I noticed the pictures have now become much more prominent than they were, say, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, when I was in middle school. Much more common to get pictures. Sometimes the cards are pre-printed. So in other words, their names are not even written. They're printed written. And not usually, but more often they're becoming not Christmas cards, but almost a Christmas postcard, where you got the pictures on the front, the greeting on the back, and then the pre-printed signature. The evolution of the Christmas card. I've been noticing that. What percentage do I think of my cards that have pictures? I'm thinking it's pushing 20%. 30 years ago, it was, that just didn't much happen. But I think that may be a testament to the fact that it's so much easier now to download a picture and get them all replicated. So just my particular thoughts about Christmas cards. And in this season, as you are having people coming in from out of town, people that you don't see very often, and you're grateful for that, but they are coming into town now. And there is the traditional family gathering or Christmas Eve at Grandma's house or someplace, Aunt Gracie's. And you're thinking, oh, these people know I'm Catholic. These people know that I really, really love my faith, and they don't. And oh, who's going to snipe at me? If you got something like that coming up, call in. I'll give you some straight run at priority. 877-573-7825.
Advent is here, and Ave Maria Radio wants to walk beside you every day as we move towards the birth of Jesus. When you visit AveMariaRadio.net, you can join our Advent mission and receive short, powerful, and engaging daily videos that help you enter the mystery of the Incarnation with new clarity and devotion. Go to the slider at AveMariaRadio.net, sign up, and take your place in this joyful journey to the manger.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference this holiday by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Our billboards and ads feature our 800 hotline for help, which connects people to pro-life centers nationwide that can assist with free medical help, baby supplies, and more. Won't you join us in this season of giving? Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeforacrossamerica.org. That's prolifeforacrossamerica.org.
Light of the East, weekends on Ave Maria Radio.
I am Father Thomas Loya. This week on Ave Maria, do not celebrate the holidays. Rather, contemplate and be transformed by the great mystery of the Incarnation. Don't just buy gifts, become a gift now and in every moment after December 25th.
Now on Ave Maria Radio's newest FM stations, 105.5 FM in Southfield and 107.9 FM in Ann Arbor. Do you own popular index mutual funds or ETFs? If so, you're automatically own shares of companies that conflict with your moral beliefs. Ave Maria mutual funds are managed to conform to pro-life and pro-family values. Long-term investors can invest in the no-load Ave Maria mutual funds. The experienced professional portfolio managers make decisions based on investment fundamentals and pro-life values. You can learn more about Ave Maria mutual funds today at 866 Ave Maria or visit AveMariaFunds.com.
Unlike the ladies, if I go to a party and there's a guy there wearing the exact same outfit that I do, I don't have to leave. We could become friends. Nice shirt. Where'd you get that? Really sweet. Let's go to Michael from Texas. He's a grandpa. Hi, Michael.
First time, long time.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Well, I got a question. So I got two grandkids, 10 and 8. My granddaughter's 10. My grandson is 8. Parents a little bit on the liberal side. They got a bunch of tattoos. I myself don't have tattoos, don't care for them. But over the Thanksgiving holiday, my grandson, they were at the mall, and then he just randomly said, "Hey, I want to get my ears pierced." And they get their ears pierced, both ears. And when she sent me a picture, I kind of just freaked out. I really didn't know what to say. And I really haven't talked to her about it. And, I start to think about the future, and I'm like, man, these kids are going to get tattoos at, 13? How do I respond? I'm a little confused. I don't know how to navigate through this.
Okay. I think your question when you spoke to Eric Dumont, our call screamer, was, do I say anything, or is it not worth the fight? I think that was your question, right?
Well, I'm going to say something. I just don't know exactly what to say, because, initially I want to say something that's probably out of line.
Well, I wouldn't say a word. Michael, think about how you just described that situation. You said they're a little on the liberal side. Okay, you were probably trying to be nice, that they don't think like you do. Okay. 2, they themselves have all kinds of tattoos. The young man said, "Gee, I'd sure like my ears pierced." They said, "Sure, okay." And more than that, they sent you a picture because they wanted to say, "Look how cute he is." Now, Michael, if they know that you would react really strongly to this, then they're probably saying, "Hey, accept it." Okay? If they don't think that you would react strongly, which I doubt because they know you, if they don't think it would bother you, then they're just sending you a picture to say, "Look how cute he is with those pierced earrings." If you're asking my advice, and it is strong advice, don't say a word.
Oh, man, that is tough. That is tough, Doctor.
Michael, it's not going to do any good. You know that. You know that.
I just spend time with them. Once a month, they come over to my place.
The best thing you can do is to have those two boys absolutely love their grandpa and see their grandpa is just a warm, loving, cool dude, and he also happens to be religious. That's the best thing you can do. If you start questioning their parenthood in stuff like this now, well, I don't want to tell you how much I see, but much of the time I see the parents, they ain't going to come over once a month. That's going to be stretched out, and if you see them at all.
Okay.
That's my strong advice, my friend. That's my strong advice. God bless you, sir. And bye-bye.
God bless you. Bye.
Now, I'll get your calls, and I thank you for your patience. In situations where there are generational differences, and these generational differences are now pronounced. And they're pronounced because the older generation on all the surveys is more religious. They're more traditional. They see things a different way. The younger generation does not. Many of them have left religion. Many of them have been shaped by the culture mindset. So therefore, there's these radical differences in the way you view a whole lot of things. There is a certain sense of, I got to say something. I got to try to correct this. I got to fix it. If you want my experience, unless you have a warm, loving, deep relationship with these younger parents, and in fact, they deeply respect your perspective on life, maybe they're in line with your perspective on life, then you can give your thoughts and opinions. But if it's clear that they're off in another direction in so many ways, my estimate is, and it's a very rough estimate, 86.2975% of the time, it is not going to be taken well. And it could lead to not only a cooling of the relationship, but a breaking of the relationship. So you have, in the words of that doctor of the mind, Elmer Fudd, you have to be very, very careful. Elizabeth from Pittsburgh, PA, has a comment about Christmas cards. Hi, Elizabeth.
Hi. Yeah, I'm just wanted to make a comment about the Christmas cards that you were talking about. I'm in my 70s, and I've been exchanging Christmas cards with all my friends and family for a long, long time. And a few years ago, a friend said, "You are my rock. I look forward to your Christmas card." And this friend has been through a lot of ups and downs and turns in her life and disappointments, and she never was religious, never sent me a religious card. And I think you were right on with the exact thing you just said about don't say anything, just be quiet and send or do what you think is right, but you don't have to preach it all. Your actions will show what you believe, and things are cyclical. I think they'll come around, and people are young and they want to run with the herd sometimes, and if it's not too bad, you just have to kind of be quiet about it and pray.
Well, that sounds like an awful thoughtful piece of advice there, Elizabeth. And I just want to say one thing, dear, and I hope, please don't take this personally. Don't be offended.
Okay.
You say you're in your 70s?
Yes.
How many years would you say you've been sending out Christmas cards?
50.
Just what I thought. So in 50 years of you sending out Christmas cards, not once have you sent me one. Not once. Okay? I just
found you. I just found you in the last few months. I never knew this program existed. I'm not real techy, and I don't have. I just got someone gave me an Echo Dot, so I just found you.
Elizabeth, you think you're not technical. I, for 2 years, carried around my garage door opener so people would think I had a pager.
Okay.
Well, bless your heart for listening, honey. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
All right, bye. Okay, what do we got? Oh, should I do it, Andrew? I got 2 minutes. Okay, let's start it off with Renee from St. Clair Shores. There's a rule, I look at it, the Catholic code book. There is a rule that if you're from a city that's saint, you jump to the front of the line. So Renee from St. Clair Shores has a daughter, 12 years old, who is reflecting what is happening in surveys among adolescent girls. Her daughter isn't, but she's experiencing firsthand the results of these surveys. Hi, Renee.
Hi, Dr. Ray. Love your show.
Thank you, dear.
Yes. So she's 12. She goes to a Catholic school. It's a school she's been going to since kindergarten. And, it's small, of course, and there's only like a handful of girls really in her class. So these girls she's been with since kindergarten, except for we did homeschool her for a little while. And she just recently confided in me that the girls, one by one, have come forward and told her that they're bisexual or they like girls or whatever, either gay, bisexual, they like both. And I could feel that she was coming to me for advice as to how to respond, because she did say, I want to stick up for what I believe in. I want them to know my beliefs and be consistent with that, but I also don't want to offend them or be mean because they are my friends. And the thing I originally said was just, when they talk.
Okay, Renee, I'm going to stop you there, dear. That music means I got about 15 seconds. You stay right there. Other side of the break, we'll pick this up. This is Dr. A, 877-57-EQUAL, the number. Thank you for joining me here on The Doctor Is In. It's a co-production, the WTN Global Catholic Radio Network and Ave Maria Radio Communications. My producer man, Andrew Kruchek, over there in Ann Arbor, the studios at Domino Farms, and, of course, my dear friends at EWTN, all of them there that make this show run. I appreciate that. So, I am talking to Renee from St. Clair Shores. She has a 12-year-old daughter going to a Catholic school. And recently, and small school, and a very small number of kids apparently in her daughter's grade. Of that small number, more than one, of course, have come up to her and said that I am bisexual or I like girls. If you look at the surveys, Renee, what you're finding is this massive amount of sexual confusion, particularly among adolescent girls. There are many experts, count me among them, who believe that so much of this is a peer motivated thing. It's like a social chic. It's now cool. It's the cool way to be. And from a perspective of a clinical perspective, these are not necessarily same-sex attracted or even other sex attracted girls. They are voicing what is now being pushed by much of the pop culture, heavily so, and especially their peer group. Are you still there, Renee?
I am, yes.
Okay. Now, you had two questions, basically. One, how does your daughter respond to this, assuming she will? And two, how does she not offend or upset them? Well, I'm sorry for the well. That was just Jum. I was just searching for words, and I threw in a well to fill up the pause.
It's okay.
She's probably going to upset them, depending upon how locked in they are to this. If you look at the surveys again, you find that most kids that age, by the time they're 18, revert to their biological identity. Mm-hmm. So that happens. Two, another piece of good news is that the numbers of kids proclaiming that they are LGBTQ or bi's the big one right now, bisexual, is declining. Mm-hmm. It's dropping. So some of this social folie à deux is running out of steam. Now, that said, what do we do with your daughter? She could say, if she wants to keep it simple, she could say, well, I'm so glad that God made me a girl and I'm attracted to boys. She just say that. That's me.
Uh-huh.
If she's
like
particularly sophisticated, she could say, why do you think that? How did you decide that? Well, because I think it's just good that that you can like anybody. Okay. Are you saying that you don't want to get married? Well, I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe you girls can marry girls. They can, and they'll start spouting all the cliches that the culture's throwing at them.
Right.
I do a pretty good bratty 12-year-old girl, don't I? Kind of a snotty 12-year-old girl.
Yes.
I know, that scares me. She can, if she's sophisticated enough, you can walk her through it, Renee. You can say, I'll tell you what, honey. You ask me what you want to ask your friends, and I'll give you answers. And then you practice your responses. Now, I'm not going to be as good at this as Dr. Ray. He's much more closely related to a 12-year-old snot. However,
right.
However, you can tell her that. And you can, if she wants to keep it simple, she can say, well, I really respect the way God made me. And God made me a woman who is naturally attracted to guys. You can say that. Now, if they get upset, well, that's narrow. You're narrow. She could say, if she's cool, she could say, well, if that's what you want to call it, then I am.
Uh-huh. I like that. She is super cool, so I think she would say that.
Bless her heart. Bless her heart. My sons are too old for, or else we'd have some kind of prearranged marriage. I don't know.
Darn it. Oh, goodness. Okay. Thank you. I was kind of blown away when she told me, because I've known these girls since they were little too. Yeah.
They are just, I bet my, I was going to say I bet my bottom dollar, but that's such a cliche. I would certainly bet that most, if not all of them, are not sexually and gender confused. They are just simply reiterating what is now the cool chic. Mm-hmm. And of course, if they're not being raised with kind of very solid morals that can stand up to the cultural onslaught, they're just going to go with it. Why wouldn't they?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to know. You know, you put your kids in a school because you're hoping they will be surrounded with families and the culture that that we would like them to be surrounded with. But it's just not the case anymore.
No, it isn't.
Catholic schools are barely Catholic anymore, to be honest.
The ones that are thriving are the ones that are faithfully Catholic are thriving. They got waiting lists.
Yes. Well, my older ones are in a beautifully Catholic school, high school, and they are thriving, and it's very, very Catholic. So at least I know where she's going for high school.
There you go. All right, Renee, thank you. And I
thank you, Dr. Ray. I appreciate you. God bless.
You're welcome. Merry Christmas. I don't know if this was Andrew or Eric who typed this. You just can't make a blanket statement that Catholic schools aren't Catholic anymore. You're absolutely right, and I didn't. I said that the more faithfully... Oh, never mind. You remember Rosanna Dana, back when Saturday Night Live was really funny? And she'd do a commentary. She was an elderly woman, Rita Ratner. No, not Rita Ratner. I forget her name. And once again, Lethologica kicks in. And she would do a commentary. She'd say things like, what's all this about violins on TV? The violin is a nice instrument, and I think it's wrong that they single out violins. And Chevy Chase would go, Emily Latella was her screen name. Emily, that's violence on TV. And she'd say, oh, never mind. And that's what I'm just saying to you guys. Okay, sorry. Never mind. Okay, I got a break coming up. I will get to your calls. I know you're there. I don't see you, but I see what Eric puts up about you. 877-573-7825. Once again, I'm having a great time being with you folks. You make, I was going to say you make my hour, but that's what else am I doing this hour? You make my day. I like that one, Andrew. I like that one. Gilda Radner, as I had another eager listener reminded me. I play trivia on Wednesday nights with my godson, dear friends, and my wife and I go. And trivia is bad. Trivia is bad when you're my age. They give you 2 minutes to answer the question. Now, I don't know any pop culture from about 1985 on. I pretty much shut out of the pop culture scene with the music and all of the streaming shows and all the actors and actresses. I need about 12 minutes to be able to answer that. We should play senior trivia. They give you an hour to answer the question because I'm sitting there night after night going, I know that one. I know. I'm going to know it when I hear it. I'm going to know it when I hear it. Okay, let's go to Kathleen because she says, and she makes a great point, and she points out something that I've struggled with on this program, which is in any given call, you can usually make 27 or 28 suggestions or observations, but because of the exigencies of time, you have to pick and choose. Now, she makes one that I didn't say, but I could have said, and I think it's a great thought, so I will let Kathleen own the thought. Hi, Kathleen.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome.
I just had to speak to the heart of that grandpa that called in. Yeah, we've got 17 grandkids, and we're just starting about the age 12 where his is at and the little ones. But what we've learned, the piercings close, and they eventually grow out of that stage. And I guess I just wanted to comfort him knowing that what you suggested is that silence will be golden. You know, Exodus 14:14 says, I will fight for you. You need only be silent. And that grandpa's heart is so big, but that piercing is not life-altering. It is something that they chose to do, and as he chooses to love, he need not say anything about it. And what you told him to do is going to be hard for him to do, but it is such an important tool to use that silence and just bless and love the little kids right where they're at.
Now, see, Kathleen, your advice is not workable in all settings. For example,
I know.
If I were silent on this program, there'd be no program.
That's right. But it is yeah, you do have to speak up sometimes, but
you're right. You are right. You're absolutely.
Mercy, he will.
And
yeah, just wanted to encourage him.
It is, and that's a very encouraging thing to say because you know as well as I do, we float through all kinds of stuff. I don't want to think about what I was like when I was 20 and what was important to me and what I chased.
Right. This is another side of it that I just realized before too. One of our kids married, did the tattoo guy and routed, and they both have the tattoos and all that stuff, and he became a Christian, and his whole life has been transformed. And he went swimming at somebody else's pool, and he wouldn't even take off his long-sleeved shirt because he was so ashamed. And he said, and everybody else there just said, come on, if you're a real Christian, no one's going to think twice about that, where you are now with your life, what you chose to do then. And the shame does come sometimes, and our gentle grace and mercy is really needed sometimes too.
Well, the irony there, Kathleen, is that before he was a Christian in his tattoo days, he probably did a whole bunch of things that he could be terribly ashamed of, the least of which would be getting a tattoo.
As we all are, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've all are culpable. So it just, yeah, but the grandpa's heart, I get it, because he's not afraid of the earrings. He's afraid of what's coming next.
Yeah, he did say that. Yeah, he's looking down the road and seeing this kid
a crazy world
with a tattoo on his face. Yeah. All right. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much for the call.
Okay. Thank you. God
call
bless.
anytime. All righty. Getting more calls from girls on one program than I did in all my years of college. Most of them hung up. Jeanette from Youngstown, one of my old stomping grounds up there in Youngstown. Matter of fact, we adopted two of our kids from Girard, Ohio. So Jeanette being from Youngstown, she knows where Girard is. Hello, Jeanette. Thanks for calling.
Actually, it's Janet.
Oh, wait a minute. Stop. Wait a second. Come on, Eric. You're fired. Okay. How's that?
No problem.
All
I
right.
just wanted to add some credence to what you said about receiving cards and the marginalized. My brother and I, we because of certain situations I'm not going to get into with our grandmother, she kind of isolated us from both sides of our family, okay? I'm blind, and so when I get cards, and Mikey gets cards, from our friends, and we get a lot of them. We get like 11 of them. It's really nice at Christmas, especially because I'm blind, and they often go the extra mile to find those textured or even Braille cards, or even like the ones that are kind of, I don't know what to describe them, almost three-dimensional, for Christmas or my birthday. And it's really nice. It does mean a lot. It really does. They don't really say a lot because we chat with them all the time on Facebook. So, there's no need for that Christmas letter. But, it still just means so much. Seriously, it's one of the nicest things a person can do.
Is it safe to say that some of those people who send those cards really would be surprised at how much they touch you?
You know what? Even when I thank them, it's honey, it's nothing. No, it's a lot more than nothing on this side of the fence.
Yeah, maybe a better response would be, I'm so glad to do it.
Maybe, but and we also send them cards too, which is something else. It's another part of it. Not just always just the receiving, being someone who was, well, like I said, marginalized, blind, and not really in a loving family. The fact that I get to send cards to people who care about me makes me feel, well, they are my family. I didn't get my bio family, but I kind of got another family, a found family. God blessed me that way, and it makes me feel very blessed to do it myself.
Nice to hear all this, Jeanette. Thanks for the call, dear, so very much, and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to you, Dr.
All right,
Ray.
dear.
Love hearing your show.
Oh, bless your heart. I'll talk to you. Bye. And that was a bless your heart from up north, because I was educated from the people down in the South that when you say bless your heart, you ain't really saying bless your heart. You're kind of giving them a psychological smack. I didn't know that, because I said to somebody, bless your heart, and they said, are you insulting me? I said, huh? I can't learn all the language rules, but up north, when I say bless your heart, it is bless your heart. One more segment if you want to call in, 877-57-EQUAL. Thank you, Dr. Ray.
When I heard other business owners say they finally found someone in the credit card industry they can trust, I wondered how he could help me. So when Mark from Schisler CPC offered to show me where all the money goes for credit card processing with a free analysis of my business, I jumped on it. He reviewed how the industry works, where we could save, and offered a no-contract guarantee on savings and excellent customer service. I'm saving thousands of dollars a year. Schisler CPC. Trust in them.
More information available on the Ave Maria website under Sponsor Business Directory.
The Heart of the Interior Life with Elizabeth Jingle.
In St. Ignatius of Loyola's 14 Rules for the Discernment of Spirits, St. Ignatius introduces the fourth rule with the term spiritual desolation. What is spiritual desolation? Father Timothy Gallagher explains, Ignatius employs the term desolation, a condition of affective heaviness that instills sadness and depletes energy for living. The adjective spiritual, as throughout the rules, signifies that which is directly and immediately referred to faith and the pursuit of God's will. Thus, the phrase spiritual desolation indicates an affective heaviness directly impacting our faith and the pursuit of God's will. Just as there is spiritual desolation, there is also non-spiritual desolation. A non-spiritual desolation can be physically or psychologically based, and left uncared for, can become a catalyst for spiritual desolation.
For more information, visit AveMariaRadio.net.
Steve and Janet Ray here, announcing our pilgrimage to charming Ireland and its rich Catholic heritage. The shrines are nestled in the quaint Emerald Isle. Lovely people, marvelous food, sweeping vistas. Everyone's favorite is Mass at Our Lady of Knock and its Eucharistic apparition. We hope you can join us in August, along with our Irish chaplain, Father James Conlon.
To learn more about your Ave Maria Radio trip, find the Ave Maria Radio Travel tab at AveMariaRadio.net.
Picking out some good stuff there, Andrew. Kind of an edgy sort of piano stuff. Good. Thank you for joining me here on The Doctor Is In. Appreciate the company. I did want to offer just a few more observations, especially about what Jeanette was saying. You never can estimate what reaching out means to somebody. Reminds me of a study I saw many years ago. A mental health center had lost contact, of course, with folks that had come in, particularly for reasons of depression. life depression, maybe biochemical depression. They had the access to these folks, and I don't remember the details of the survey, but I suspect it was they had a higher risk of suicidal ideation or even an attempt. They sent out just contact letters to folks. Hope you're doing well. You were here. You were a client of ours. Hope life's going. Just something. I don't remember the actual context of the letters, but it was just contact. And what they found was, I guess they divided them into two groups. What they found was there was a significant difference. If you know your research, you know how they discover significant differences, the p-value, between those who got the letter and those who didn't. Those who got the letter, and I don't know how they followed up on this. Again, this was long ago I read this study. I don't remember the details. Either reported less suicidal ideation afterwards or less attempts afterwards, or actually less suicide, than those who didn't get anything from their contacts with the mental health center. So if that wasn't real clear, what they did is they sent out letters to two groups, to one group, and they basically randomized the groups. Depression was the main reason that the folks came to the mental health center. So depression raises the risk of thinking suicide or doing suicide. They found that, and I don't know how they followed up on this. They found that the people they simply sent a letter to, they didn't say come back. They didn't say let's do some more therapy. They just said following up to see how you're doing, hope you're doing well in life, etc. They touched them. You're not forgotten. And they found that made a difference. I don't remember if their measure was the actual suicides, reported suicide ideation, or attempted suicide. I don't remember. Or maybe all three. And it could have been there were differences in all three. So that was the mental health center's variant of a Christmas card. When I stopped giving them out a couple years ago, I thought there was something that was nagging at me. I kept thinking, okay, so I don't have to send out cards anymore. And usually it takes me several hours because I try to write something in each card. Or this year I'm sending out a form letter making fun of me. But I thought, now wait a minute. Now these people meant something to me. At the time where I was working at the VA hospital in Cleveland, there were people I met the year I was an intern at the VA that are long since have not had contact with them. One moved to Phoenix, one is up in the Cleveland area. But at the time, there was an awful lot of socializing going on between us. And every year I send them a card. Or a couple of the guys that I went to college with that I still had some special relationship with. This was 50 years ago. And I sent them a card. Just let them know whatever part of my life they were, it mattered. And then, of course, there are the folks that I still see currently, but not as much as I'd like to. There's a lot of those. There's a whole bunch of those. And in some of the cards I say, call me for breakfast, please. I'd like to get together for breakfast. Or it's time. It's time for our yearly dinner. Now, some of them do call and some of them don't. I got that. I don't have any offense taken at that. But it's just some things that I look at each card and each person and say, how can I personalize this? What can I say to them that lets them know they mattered at one time in my life very much? And, of course, sadly, that Christmas list is ever so slowly getting smaller because the people who were once on it are not so much on it anymore because they have, how shall we say, passed on. All right. I got about 30 seconds here, so I'm just going to basically thank you for being with me. I want to thank Andrew Kruchek, the producer man, Eric Dumont, Call Screamer, for the program, and you make the program run, you guys. And you callers make it run, too. Without you, yeah, I could talk for an hour. It's easy enough done. But I don't want to. I'd rather talk with you so that I only have to talk for a total of 24 minutes. That's better. That doubles my income per hour. Here comes the music, and then I'll talk right now. There it is. Walk with God. Best Christmas card you could have.
For information on Dr. Ray's presentations, books, and CDs, visit drray.com and follow him on Facebook and Instagram. The Doctor Is In is a co-production of Ave Maria Radio and EWTN Radio and carried across the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.